So, well, first and foremost, I have to say welcome to everybody. Thank you for watching the show today, because today's been a good day. Um, Today started out as a great day. Great day, another day. Taking Lucas to school, everything was going great. Going back to work after a vacation, and it was very, very relaxing and very, very oh cool, it's going to be a good day. Got some work to do. I can't wait. It's Wednesday, so I'm picking some comics up. It's going to be a whole, big thing. And, I thought it was going to be like a nice normal day and everyone was going to be happy and there wasn't going to be problems and there wasn't going to be any issues. And then about, what was it? 3 o'clock, I get this. I'm sitting at work, I'm getting ready to go home, get my stuff together, and I get this post. Well, I guess it's a message from Jacob Blackman on Facebook, and he basically just says to me, he's like, "Hey, did you hear what happened?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What happened?" He's like, "Steve Russell, he's dead." And I'm just like, what the, what? Like, what are you talking about? I just, and this brings me back to a post Steve did recently, his last post on his Facebook. He did a little pun. Actually, I'm gonna look at it right now, because I thought it was corny and funny at the time. It's something very, very corny, very, very, Steve has done this before. And I was just like, oh, groan, oh my goodness. It's like a stupid pun. It was a stupid little pun. And it's, here, coming Sunday, the start of the Diceless series that Matt Banshee, who previously brought you, but that wasn't the actually post. He put a post where basically it was like, and this might have been on his personal post, that's why I'm looking in the wrong place, where he's talking about it, and he's saying, because I want to get this, because it was important to me, because it's one of those moments, looking back, how goofy. All right, publishing quote of the day: "In Gossamer worlds, Soviet Union, we diceless you." And it's goofy because it's supposed to be it's a pun on the whole Soviet thing, and it was a bad pun. I'm like, oh, what was it Sunday? It was like yesterday. I was like, oh, it was groan worthy. And I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, that's such a horrible pun. That is such a horrible pun. And I kept thinking to myself, oh, I should try something. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna say it. I'll see him, and I'll make up the other post later. It's no big deal. I'm like, so grown worthy. And, and then after, I was told that, he passed away, he died. That popped into my head, like, why didn't I write it? Why didn't I write that post at that moment? I should have wrote that post. I should have wrote that post. It wasn't a big deal, but I should have wrote that post. Missed opportunity. And then thinking about, what's happened to him and his family, which I know they're going through some horrible times, and, I feel, horrible for it's horribly sad for his family, because I know how that was for, my family. And then this brought me back to thinking of Carla and her death and all this, and just, it's death doesn't care. Death does not care. Age, sex, color, religion, doesn't care. When it's your time, and it's really your time, there's nothing that can be done. And the people left behind are always, we're always the same way. We're always upset. We're not happy. And we're not supposed to be, because it's, we know someone's missing. Oh. So it's, it is what it is. It's not a good thing. I met Steve when he was first starting his company. I was, of course, doing my usual thing, publishing, and he asked me, he goes, "Hey, can I ask you some questions about publishing and what I need to know and talk about some stuff?" And it's so weird, but it's like, oh sure, I can. Okay, I'm just recording my video. My mother-in-law just came home. And just talking shop. This is when he didn't know that much, and I'm like, well, look, there's some things you want to do. If you're gonna do PDFs, this is some stuff you're gonna do. You need to handle this. You need to do that. And I just started talking about it because I talk to people about this stuff. That's what I do. I enjoy talking about the business. I enjoy spreading information about the business, and he was interested, and he wasn't just like. I get a lot of people who are interested, but he was like really serious. He's like, no, tell me some stuff I really need to know. What do I need to understand? Why do you do this? What? And he wanted to understand what was going on and what I was doing and why I was doing it. And it's just, it was, he was interested, and he was interested the right way, as I'm going to call it. So I talked to him, gave him all the information. He's like, hey, can I ask you something? I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'm here. That's what I'm here for questions. That's what I'm here for. And, from then till, now, we had a pretty good relationship as publishers, I'd say even as friends. I was always really open to all of his projects. I was always looking to see what he was doing. It's like, hey, what are you working on? Oh, I'm working on this. I got inspired by stuff he did. And it's kind of like, and it's really so surreal that once again, people gone too soon. And I just, like I said, and it's just, I don't think we're ever going to know what really happened on that road, what happened, who did what was going on. All I know is that I work in a very small community of people, and there's not a lot of us here, and we do really cool stuff, and we talk to each other a lot, and we see each other like face to face, if we're lucky enough, once or twice a year, and all we get to do is talk about games and having fun and doing all that great stuff, and that's something cool we get to do. And it's upsetting when someone is not going to be there. And it's just, yeah, it's, and so many people I know some people are like, we're all talking the same thing. We're all like, oh, getting ready for Gen Con. I mean, not me, but I mean, everyone's saying, oh, I can't wait for Gen Con. Gonna see you at your Gen Con. Gonna see you at Gen Con. Gonna see you at Gen Con. This sounds horrible, but you don't know if you're gonna make it to Gen Con. You never know. Life is a crapshoot. I've been on the downside of that. I've had the pleasure of being on the downside of life kicking you in the teeth. And this is another one of those moments of, oh great, what the hell? What did he do? And it'll never make sense. No matter what you do, it won't make sense. So I'm not gonna try to figure it out. All I'm gonna say is that first and foremost, tell the people that you are in your life that you really love them, that you really actually love them, because you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know if they're gonna be here tomorrow. Nothing's promised. Don't kid yourself. Nothing's promised. You ain't special. Anything can happen. As my brother would always say, you can always be in the front pew at church with that body. That could be you. You never know. So don't think that can't happen to you, and don't be that arrogant. But also understand, because life is short and fleeting. You need to do things that are not just not. You got to do things that make you a better you, whatever that means for you. And I know for me being a better me is being more creative, doing more cool things, enjoying my son and my family more, and just being better. And I'm very thankful because I got the opportunity to meet Steve. We didn't agree on everything, but we liked each other, and that's huge in itself. Tonight wasn't going to be a great one anyway. I mean, let's be honest. Today's going to be one of those days where we're all going to be thinking about the same thing. And, and it's funny because, when we were doing the Crisis Kickstarter, I kept talking to Steve saying, hey, when are you going to do Quest Haven? I know you're working on Quest Haven. I know you got to get it done. He's like, yeah, I'm working on it. I don't know if I'll ever get done. I'm like, look, dude, you should just Kickstarter with me because it'd be great. He's like, oh, I don't have anything done. Oh, I'm like, look, you should do something. You should have done. And after I was like, you should have done something. We would have loved to do because I wanted to do something with him. I wanted to do something with him, and now I won't ever get that chance. And that is kind of wrong, you know. Yeah, the part that I'm going to miss the most, I know that most people are going to be at Gen Con, toasting him. I'm not going to be able to be there, but I'll definitely be there in spirit. I just think we have to, we have to be nicer to each other. We got to be kinder to each other. Like I don't want us to get into a whole spiral of everyone crying and stuff like that, and but you know, just be there for each other. I mean, really be there because you never know, when you're going to be on the front pew. So just that's it. That's all I'm doing tonight. I really don't want to talk about anything else. It's not really time to be promoting stuff and bullshit like that. We can do that anytime. I don't. That isn't what we're doing today. Today we're going to talk about a friend who's not going to be there, and we miss him. Already. Um, I think bad things happen. All right. I guess we're gonna. See, this is not a good one, but with the title that I had, you kind of figured out what this was going to be about. So, like I said, I've had some time to process it, and, but still, even I'm like, like I said, I was just talking to him. I just saw him. It's that kind of fleeting. It's that kind of fleeting. You know. And for everybody, who's actually who's worked at Wright Publishing and worked directly with Steve, I know you guys are even more in pain. But I hope you get some comfort to know that you got an opportunity to work with somebody who got to do what they loved. Really got to do what they loved in life that was important. To them. Making games was important to him, and that's why he made the games he made. He got an opportunity to live out his dreams. That's not a bad way to live life. It may not be perfect, but getting a chance to live out your dreams is a good thing. And the funniest thing is, I'm looking at Steve's page, and I'm looking at the picture he has for his little picture, and he's smiling with the teeth, and it's all like the cheesiest grin ever, and it just makes me laugh. You know, hey, you know, Stephen Russell was born September 3rd, 1973. And died, I assumed it was I believe it was the 5th. Was it the 5th or was it this morning? I think it was maybe this morning. So, July 6th. 42 years old. That's not that old. 42 years. I just think about, you get a life sentence. You don't know how long it's going to be, but you get a life sentence. It might be 90 years. It might be 3. His was 42. I hope the people that loved him the most got a chance to say, some kind of goodbye. And I know that his father, he was definitely moving back, I think, to Ohio to spend more time with his father, but I think his father was ill. So I'm sure, as a community, we'll probably be doing something. And once I find out or hear what it is or know what we're doing, I'll put it up here. So I'll put links everywhere so we can all talk about it and definitely, help any way we can. All right, that's it. Um, yeah, listen, I'm getting out of here. This is not gonna. All right, I will talk. I'll talk to you all tomorrow.